Hi, everybody, and welcome to Destiny Arising. We are so excited to have you with us, and we are thrilled with our guest. This is Tiffany Wells. This is Mrs. Illinois, and she has got some nuggets for you women out there that might think that you're not worth a whole lot. And I just am so excited, Tiffany, you're with us, and that you can empower some of these women in what they're going through and what they're doing. And I just want to encourage these women, please go to destinyarising.net, subscribe to us, find out what we're all about, register for the upcoming summit. This is amazing because Destiny Arising literally exists to help women in all 7 cultural spheres of influence. And we want to empower you and strengthen you and encourage you to be the best you can be. And so, Tiffany, tell us, how did you get started in being Mrs. Illinois?
Well, to be Mrs. Illinois, I've been in pageantry for about maybe 18 to 19 years, somewhere approximately around there. And it was all off of a whim, actually. I heard it on the radio and I said, hey, I want to try that because you know what? That's just the person I am. I'm willing to kind of jump off the cliff, right? And ever since I did my first pageant, it's kind of been an addiction, I want to say. It's something that's really helped me get over my own insecurities.
I
I'm
can't
still
believe
working.
you would have any insecurities.
Oh, believe it or not, I actually used to be shy. No one would ever believe that, talking to me now. But I used to be shy, still so, very self-conscious. And pageantry's kind of helped me really hone in on some skills that are, I think, really needed in the world today, like interview skills, being able to speak to the public, being able to, empower and encourage others to be more than what they think they can be. And that's what's exciting about pageantry. I've been able to have friends for over 15 years that all want to empower each other and really embrace each other and grow and really cheer the other one on. And as females, sometimes it's a little competition. There's no secret there. But in the long run, all the pageantry that I've ever done, I've had nothing but a great experience. It's always helped me grow, even if I didn't place or win. It's always helped me like edge up just a little bit closer to where I needed to be. My first national title I won was in 2013. And that was one of the most amazing experiences, to be able to hear your name called after working so hard.
Wow.
And then being honored with Mrs. Illinois this past year, that's been a lifetime dream of mine. Your Mrs. Illinois pageant's been around for over 40 years.
I didn't know it.
Yes, believe it or not, a lot of the pageant actually used to have like, what's your talent, like ironing and doing laundry, for real. So it's
Are
evolved.
you serious?
Mm-hmm.
And what was your talent?
Well, they didn't have talent now. The Marmells
okay.
took it over in the 1970s and obviously got revamped. And now it's really focused on, we are family, because that's their theme. And that's very important to me. Family is extremely important. I want them to ride along with me on my journey. But they also focus on, you can be a mom, you can, have kids, but you can still, showcase who you are as a wife and as a mom. You can learn how to have better skills as a mom and a wife. You can still have a career and being able to showcase that career. There's so many different, avenues that you can go down to be able to help push that forward when you start representing Illinois. And America is just that system that was, just like a dream come true. So being able to push, that door open just a little bit further. People do look, hey, who's that with the crown and the banner? They're going to talk to me. Why not utilize it, right?
Yeah.
I have a drive, I have a passion, to volunteer.
Yeah.
Primarily with veteran advocacy.
Yay.
And helping out. Yes. I have a Marine family, Army family, Air Force family. Mostly everyone in my family is in the branch of the military. And that's extremely important to me, to really showcase my love for the military, serving or non-serving, and make sure that they're getting what they need, not just the advocacy part, but also just being there as a buddy, being there to understand them, being able to talk to them as a family member, and knowing what it's like for a family member to go through PTSD and things like that.
Oh yeah, it's serious business. And especially now in this time when we are seeing a lot of our veterans trigger and what they're going through. As you know, we have a charity, Be a Hero to a Hero, and I know you work with Zoe, Support Over Stigma. And I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, this is very serious. We have to back the military and we have to back the blue. We really,
Yes.
really do, because if we don't, we're going to lose the very essence of what we are in this nation. And I'm a wife of a veteran of 30 years in the Air Force. I mean, he went all the way from, I think he started out in the Panama and went all the way through 9/11. He was with the president. And
Wow.
tomorrow is September 11th, the anniversary. And he was crew chief on Air Force One flight, the NAOC. And I'll tell you, he's got stories that he could just tell. But the key really is that I love what you say, that camaraderie of the buddy system, because that's what we women need to do. We need to be we, instead of just competing one another
Yeah.
against one another, like, when you're in competition, you're in competition. You can't divert from that. But in the essence outside of that, I want to ask you, you had this title for a year. What doors open for you, and where do you feel like you made the biggest inroads?
I think with this title, it's opened the doorway to support over stigma. It brought me to that
Yes.
organization. She reached out to me, and because of that, I've
And
been
that's
able to.
how we met you.
Yes, and see, and
Yes.
it's through these connections, through pageantry, because I'm putting myself out there. It's allowing me to really hone in on where I want my advocacy to be, instead
Yeah.
of putting my hat in all kinds of baskets. Kind of really honing in on what I really am passionate about, which is veteran advocacy and care, and
Yeah.
that's exactly what Support Over Stigma does, and of course your organization.
Yeah. Last night we were just interviewed on a TV program about Be a Hero to a Hero. And one of the men that was watching it was actually in tears. He said, "We haven't seen anybody have this kind of compassion, because we take care of those that are medically confined. And some of them are emotionally medically confined.
Yeah,
And this whole thing about being there and being an advocate for those that don't appear to have a voice, especially since Vietnam.
yeah,
They
for sure.
came home to rejection. We rejected the war, but we forgot to appreciate the man. You
Correct.
know, we may have rejected, and it wasn't even a war, it was a police action. We rejected that and we took it out on the man that went and obeyed the country. And I think that your heart to be able to bring some closure to some of that is so important. Now, are you going to take the class with Zoe,
Uh,
the training
I
she has?
I would love to do it. She hasn't talked to me about it just yet. We've been busy
Yeah.
with
Well,
events,
ladies
so
and gentlemen, we're going to post some of that so that you can get into some information about that, especially if you have a heart to help these wounded, broken souls that really not only need healing, but they need Jesus Christ. We really need, I mean, Tiffany's a Christian. This is a Christian organization. We want you to know that we love you in spite of ourselves. And we don't care what affiliation you are. We know we want to help you. And Tiffany, we know that when you competed, what was the hardest thing you had to do while competing?
hmm. Honestly, the hardest thing to do while competing was just getting up there on stage and being okay with my curves, my body. I'm not your typical size 2 girl. And just being comfortable in my own skin. That was probably the hardest. I did work out, I did, diet and things like that, but I wasn't extreme by all means. I did it to a point where I kind of, enjoyed the journey and really embraced my title and not, overwhelm myself with that kind of thing. But that to me, getting up on stage in a swimsuit at 43, it's scary.
Hey, I wouldn't do it now. If somebody asked me to do that, I wouldn't do that. I'm sorry. I would probably say no. If I have to wear a bathing suit in a competition, I'll do one from the 1920s. Thank you very much. That's just not going to happen. I can't imagine how you could do that, and you won. You actually won this thing, and you're you're being an advocate. Now, what other doors have opened for you? Have you been asked to be on television? Have you asked to be at events? What kind of events do you go to, and what do you do while you're there?
Well, I've done a lot of different events revolving around veteran care and advocacy. I've been asked to speak, which is pretty amazing. I had a chance to be in a commercial for my dental office before, which was really fun. And I also have some great sponsors that have also kind of used me as a guinea pig. And then I've been able to be videotaped there, which is great. A lot of the doors is building those relationships. I think it's the connection because networking is key, right?
Yes.
And the networking comes kind of a path where you're supposed to be. Everything happens for a reason. God has a plan. And I know that through this journey and what I've been doing so far, and all the events, whether it be like this weekend, I have 2 events, coming up. I had the Scandinavian Festival because I'm Norwegian and Swedish, and
Yeah.
I'm passionate about my heritage, and I love to support, them in whole, and it's a lot of fun too. I'm not gonna lie. And I have another event where I'm going to be doing a walk. So always, doing that walk for 9/11,
Yeah.
and I'm excited to go and do the walk and support that, and just being there and being able to show that, yes, I'm a mom, yes, I'm a wife, and I'm a veteran wife. I can be a queen too. Okay. I can have a little fun and be queen. I love dressing up. I mean, some women, well, why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Exactly. Now,
Right?
how did your family feel about you competing? And how did they respond to everything?
I'm very lucky, I have to say, in some cases, because my family's very supportive. Everyone's cheered me on. They've never said boo-hoo to me with pageants or anything like that. From the get-go, I'm like, this is what I'm doing. This is who I am. And everyone's really excited. They've come to watch me. My brother came from Florida. I mean, it's like things like that. It's just, I'm very lucky, but I know that there's some people that don't have that support system either. And that can change your experience at times. So lean on your sisters, your pageant sisters, and that's where you can get your empowerment and your excitement and your love.
That's wonderful. Now, did you have to have a coach to do that, or did you just
I did.
all on your? Okay, how did you go about that?
I have an amazing friend. She's actually one of my best friends too. Her name's Crystal Cavey. She's an amazing pageant coach. And I also coach with Lisa Dean, who's another amazing pageant, coach as well. And just the interview process, making sure I'm honing in on what I really want to talk about. What's my story that I want to tell.
That's got to be a hard part, is that interview process.
It is, because I could like talk and talk and talk and talk because I have a lot to say. You have to condense it. And that's where I'm like, how do I condense that? Right. And I love interview. I love talking to people and letting them know what I'm doing and letting them know who I am and what my passion is and my love for family and my love for really supporting the system, things like that. So,
well, I'm really excited about that because we don't hear a lot of love for family. We don't hear that. That's kind of like even in my circles, as much as I love my family to life, I mean, I just adore them. But in my circles in the church, even though family is so important, we don't get up and preach, oh, I got to love my family. I got to love my family. We're preaching the gospel, we're preaching this, and people forget we have family that we have to go home to and nurture, especially when we get on the road and we're out there all the time. We have to go home and nurture them and we have to love them. Like I spent all day today with my grandbabies. I mean, they're just little toddlers. And I'm going to tell you, tomorrow I might be hurting because they were getting ponyback rides and they were doing everything. I loved it. And they kept coming up and kissing me. And I was like, this is what it's all about. But what was great was when we sat down to eat and one of them says, Grammy. And I said, what? And she said, we have to pray to Jesus now. And I said, Lord, I'm doing something as a legacy for my family.
Yeah, and that's pretty amazing. And I know for me, families, it's a bunch of imperfect humans coming together. I have a blended marriage, and it's just all of us coming together to be one. And I found my brother who was adopted a couple years ago, and we've connected, and it's amazing. Like you've never been together, but it's like you never were apart.
That is really awesome. How did you find him?
Oh, wow. I mean, this story goes back to when, I do work with a nonprofit called Rebuilding Together Aurora, who does a lot in the Aurora community in regards to helping people with critical home repair, which is awesome. And, there's just that passion of mine too. And I was talking with my executive director, and she's amazing. And this is around when my mom passed away. And I was telling her my mom passed away, and before she passed away, she told me she had a son. And I was floored. And I said, I didn't know any information. I didn't know really what to go off of. I know he was Cuban and Norwegian. And she goes, well, I actually help people find adopted families. Oh, okay. Well, I gave her some information of what I thought, what I assumed would be based on pictures, and I pried something out of my aunt. And sure enough, like it was November, I think 2016 or 17. And literally that March following, she found him.
And he wanted to meet you.
Yeah, I found him on adoptees.com.
Wow.
He was the only one that on his profile said, I'm Norwegian and Cuban, because a lot of times on the profiles they say I'm white or black, I'm Hispanic, or, that kind of thing. And when she reached out, she goes, do you have any identifiers from your adoption? And he's like, yeah, I have a birth certificate that says Baby Eggland. And I'm like, oh, that's my mom's maiden name.
Oh my gosh, look at
Mhm.
that.
So she's like, well, I'm 99% sure I found your family. And he goes, I have a sister. And she's like, well, you have 3 sisters.
Oh my goodness.
So we went from 3 to 4. And now my older sister's a middle child.
That had to have been a little hard.
And I said, welcome to my world.
Yeah, really, for sure. For sure.
Yes.
And does he have family?
He does. He had a mom. I didn't get to meet her because she passed away. She was a little hesitant about getting, having us meet, because she was afraid that I was going to take, maybe him away, and I made sure to say, you tell her she's part of the family too. You don't have to be blood to be part of the family. You took care of my brother. You're family to me. That's just how I was raised. I mean, I have family members that aren't blood, but they're family.
But that's so wonderful. And what a cherished moment that you had, all of you to reconnect and be together. And just think, Mrs. Illinois' family is growing.
Yeah.
I mean, this is absolutely fantastic. Now, what do you do down in Aurora for you said you help with
Rebuilding Together Aurora?
Yeah, what do you do there?
We do critical home repair. So we actually go into the community, and people can apply via application, and you just go to rebuildingtogetheraurora.org, and you can get information in regards to our builds. We have a community block build coming up, and then we have a bags, fundraiser coming up as well. And it's kind of exciting because we get to be able to go out there and help people that maybe can't help themselves, that need, tripping hazards. Some people don't have really clean running water, or they don't even have a bathtub working, holes in the roof, tripping hazards. And these are the things that we can take care of and just make them not get hurt, number one, and make sure they're living in a very comfortable and healthy space.
Yes. Yes. With Be a Hero, we have been able to help transient women that are on the run from abusive relationships.
Wow.
And we have been able to stocking them, because we do Christmas stockings, and we have been able to gift them Christmas stockings and their children. But it's interesting because we have to connect in an overt way, because we can't meet them.
Yeah.
We can't meet them, they can't meet us. So there's a connection. We have to make a connection. The other person has to make a connection, and then there's a drop off. But there's something about when we know that it's taken place that you go, wow, I've done something for somebody. I've helped somebody through a rough moment.
I mean, I bring out my team. I work for, a bank, and when we were able to do in-person volunteering, I was able to bring 40 or 50 employees to come out and help with projects, around Aurora. And that makes an impact. People kept asking, they still want to do it. They still ask me, when are we going in person? When are we going in person? I'm telling you, I can't wait to go back in person, which we are this year, finally.
Well, I hope we do. Even with our stockings, we're like, are we actually going to be able to deliver these stockings to the people, or are we going to have to drop and run again? Because last year we had to drop and run. This year we're blessing 2,000 veterans.
Wow.
Yes, medically confined veterans.
Oh my gosh.
2,000. So we need to go to beahero2ahero.com and help us out.
Oh, I will.
I know you will. I met you while you were helping Zoe, support over stigma. And it's interesting because she lives right down the street in the same type of house I do. We're the only ones on the street that have this style of house. And we're
That's too
both
funny.
working. She's for active duty and I'm for the medically confined. And it's like, okay, we got it covered. You
That's
know?
right. And through all these connections, the nonprofits out there, there's so many that can connect to really encompass everything that needs to be done in the community. Because there's a lot. There's no shortfall of things that need to be, fixed, helped, maintained. I mean, there's just so many things for us to do to get out there in the community. And by joining forces like that, it's
Yeah,
key.
it really is. Now, do your children come alongside and help you do?
They have. Yep, they have.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's
Yeah, but
wonderful. How are they with having mom being Mrs. Illinois and dad being military man?
well, it's definitely two dynamics that are a little different.
Uh-huh.
For me, my daughter has been with me. Obviously, she's 22 now, so she's been kind of on the ride with me, and I've always take her with me. She's used to it. But, she runs into people all the time that know who I am. Oh, that's your mom, Mrs. Illinois. And she's like, yeah. But she's actually helped out in a lot of ways. When I won my first national title in 2013, she came back with me in 2014, and I got to help kind of do stage design, help with, choreography. And she kind of helped do the scenes. And we did that for about 7 years with that pageant system, kind of behind the scenes to help, and support the system and being able to be there for the contestants that are coming in. So she's always been active. You got boys, Toby, Sammy, and Nika, no interest.
No interest, huh? Yeah, they're boys.
They're boys. Pageants.
My little Finn today, I tell you, he's such a bruiser. I thought I told him, I said, you're going to kill your grandmother if you don't get off her back. I said, you're like a little tank. And when he hangs on like, I'm not letting go because I don't get this kind of fun. And I'm like, you weigh 45 pounds.
Oh my gosh. That's heavy.
And I'm only 5 foot nothing. And I'm like, oh my Lord, help me. But we do what we have to do and our kids come alongside. And I'm just so honored. I am so honored that you were part of this tonight. And before we depart, I want you to tell the viewers that are going to be watching this, I want you to tell them something from your heart that can help them keep going.
There's a lot of things I can say. And
Please
it's
do.
a lot of and a lot of people can say, just go out and do it. Well, I think that's easier said than done, right? But trust me, just feel it in your heart, feel it in your soul. Know that you can do it. God has a plan for you. He hears you. Let it happen. Don't force it. Let it come to you. I didn't think I was going to be where I was at all, and pageantry fell into my lap. And yes, I'm the type of person to jump off the cliff, but I was also the person that was very shy and self-conscious and really not too sure of myself. But in the long run, we need to find that core group and tribe, that can really support and empower who you are and who you want to become. And that's key.
Yeah.
And I know you'll find it. And I know you can get out there and really, engage friends and family and really support people that need it.
I think you've touched on something that I think is so important. And you've said the word over and over again tonight, support, support, support. I think, ladies and gentlemen, what we are hearing tonight from this beautiful woman, that we need to learn to support one another.
Yep.
And just cheer I'm a real cheerleader. I just, and I never was a cheerleader in school.
Me neither.
I wanted to try out for cheerleading, but I got told I couldn't because I was such a good gymnast, because I was in the Junior Olympics and all that it wouldn't be fair. So I didn't try out. And then when they told me later I could try out, by then I was too insecure. And so, I went through all that, but I just keep thinking that if we just cheer one another on, and I say, what you're doing in Aurora and what you're doing for Zoe and what you're doing for veterans, I cheer you on, Tiffany. And are you going to be competing again for anything?
I haven't decided yet. It's on the fence. I have options, but I will announce if that is something I'm going to do.
Well, if you do, make sure you hit me up so that Destiny Arising people can cheer you on, because that's what we do at Destiny Arising. We say, yes, you can, and nothing can stop you. So I want to say thank you for being with us tonight, and we hope to have you on again.
Absolutely, and thank you so much.
It's an honor to have you, and God bless you. And ladies and gentlemen, go to destinyarising.net and subscribe to us. God bless you, Tiffany.
Thanks. God bless you.